All right, folks, welcome back. So pretty sure y'all caught the last videos. On this one, I just want to run it back real quick because I noticed I did make a mistake. Well, it was a kind of mistake just between, I guess, us getting parts. But long story short, this happens to be what I initially did the modification for the pedal on. This one happens to be for a V6. And you can easily tell, and I didn't really notice it. I noticed it a little bit, but then I was like, oh, no, maybe, I'll get it in and see. But you can see get these lined up next to each other. You can see the height difference. Now, both of these are from SN95s, 96 to 04. But this one that's actually installed on the Fox pedals, that's from a V6 car. Now, just so you can see actually where the mount, it needs to be higher. So I had to get another pedal assembly and basically modify it again. Easy way to identify if it's a V6 or if it's for a GT, which you need a GT because obviously you need it for the Hydroboost so it can match the Hydroboost. This one is off of a V6, and those still use on a V6, those still use the vacuum assisted brakes. So the thing about this though is if you happen to be, say, doing a stick swap, or you want to get stick pedals and you don't have a way to get the pedals from a Fox, you could probably get one from a V6 S195 and make it work. So I'm not so sure about the actual clutch part though, so I don't know, don't quote me on that one. But you can see that this is, hold on, let me grab it real quick. This is about the same. Let me see if I can get it lined up. It's kind of hard with this. But you can see they're about the same height or length. Hold on, let me pull that down. About right there. So they're about the same. And I remember when I was putting it together and I lined them up, I was like, and you can go back to the old video and see that they're pretty much even. Then you get it here and you see it's a nice difference. And this right here is the actual stock Fox pedal. So you can see the difference there. And like I said before, an easy way to identify that you got the correct pedal off of 96 to 04 is if it has this greenish, I guess turquoise or green plastic piece. I just left this on just as an example to show if you are looking for this pedal and you go and get this pedal assembly from 96 to 04, make sure it has this green thing on it, and that'll let you know for sure that it's for a Hydroboost setup. All right, so I'm gonna go ahead, I'm gonna slap this over and get this thing installed. And that's, well, oh yeah, also quick bonus for the Hydroboost. Just get this out the way real quick. If you got the Hydroboost, when you get a Hydroboost, and a lot of people, they don't have access to making brake lines. Part of the hard thing is to find which brake lines to get. And I got you guys. If you made it this far along. Right there, I don't know if you want to screenshot it. But these are the hard brake lines that will help you put the Hydroboost in without having to worry about making custom lines yourself. You can customize these, which I always do, to make them shorter, to make it look a little cleaner. But there's on my first build, or one of my builds, I think it was the drop. Yeah, the drop is I just used them, and you just kind of bend them a little bit and make them fit. But these are the part numbers for the hard brake lines when you're doing the Hydroboost. I'll probably go over a little more once I get it in, but yeah, that's pretty much that. This is going to be the last of it. But yeah, let me get this all together and I'll bring you guys back. All right, so just another quick rundown before I move along. Remember, the Hydroboost pedal that you need to modify, needs to have this green piece. I'm not saying it needs it on the install. I'm just saying to identify that that's the correct pedal when you get it from a 96 to 04. Now you can see here, this one right here is the one from a V6 that I, from the previous video that I modified to put inside this pedal assembly. It didn't work. It didn't line up, and I was curious. Luckily, I had my own car, and I went and looked. I'm like, whoa, I measured it, and it's like I think like a 1.5 inch difference. So, and you can see here, this one is the Foxbody pedal, so you can see that they're about the same length, and that's because both of these pedals use the vacuum assisted brakes instead of like the 96 to 04 here uses the Hydroboost. And so don't get this inside of the Fox pedal assembly and get this thing all put together. That's just another identification. And one more time for y'all, hard brake lines, Napa Auto Parts. So this is the sauce right here. I'm giving y'all a gem with these, because a lot of people don't know how to get the brake lines right, and they always ask me how do I get them like that. This is part of the equation, the main part. If you're doing the install, and the people who do this, they know like, oh, he giving up the, yeah. So, and some people probably learn some stuff from this. And if you do, man, hit the like button, leave a comment, man, let me know. And then people who do this, let people know that it worked for you. Because some people actually think this don't work, which is crazy to me. And I got over at least about 8 swaps with this that I've done, including my personal one. So it's definitely legit. All right, folks, and just like that, the Hydroboost is in. You can see where I put the hard brake lines in. This one I didn't really do any modifications with. This one I did shorten. And then the brake line here. So a lot of these I've done, and it's weird on the Foxbodies, they're different across the board. But I have to change the driver's side brake line. I have to make a custom one myself. But a lot of the times you can use the stock brake line and then just get an adapter to work for that. I didn't want to go buy an adapter, and I just use that. I don't like using a whole bunch of different adapters, and I just made a custom line. But you see that it is in there. Right there on the left side, I did have to drill a hole for that. I meant to show that part before I drilled it, but you can get the gist of it, and then I'll show you guys the pedals here in a second. Drilled that hole, put a 7/16 bolt, and also have a nylon, the lock washer style bolt. Then so you see everything's on here. But what did catch me off guard on this one, and I noticed is different, is that the windshield wiper motor is very close here. So when I try to put the normal adapters I use with a 90-degree fitting, it's not going to really clear. It doesn't look like. I know it's possible to change the wiper motor, but I found some banjo fittings, which I've done on one swap, and we did have issues with that, but I think it just wasn't torqued or something enough. I forgot what it was, but this will be the second time I'm going to try the banjo fittings out. I think they should work. 90-degree banjo fittings that'll just come straight off instead of having to use a 90-degree AN style Russell fitting, I believe it was. But we'll try that. Then let me show you guys the pedals, and we'll pretty much wrap it up. I also just throw the diagram on this video that shows how to, it gives you part numbers and stuff on there. You could use it, but me, I mostly use that diagram for the measurements, because they give you, like, it'll say use dash 6 AN, or it'll say, it'll give you the fitting sizes for that. And then, so that's basically what I use where I put it on the screen here. And so, yeah, when I use that, I just use it for the measurements and everything. Then I gave y'all the sauce with that. Then you see with one of them, you have to use a T to get, it's really simple. I don't know why a lot of people get confused by it, but, obviously that one goes down and controls the left and right front brake. And then this one here in the front is for your rear brakes. And then when you do this, you also will need an adjustable proportionate valve for the rear end. So, and especially on this one, thought we were going 5-lug, but you know, I haven't really. This is probably the only car I haven't had very much interaction with the owner. It's kind of hard to get a hold of him, so look like we're just going 4-lug, but yeah, it's power brakes. So let me show y'all the pedals real quick. All right, folks, excuse the mess. Obviously, you know, you gotta have the steering column out, but see if I can test this. You see everything's in. I even got the brake. I'm gonna take this out and redo that. I gotta do some mind with it, but you see everything's in. I just want to show y'all, for the people that are non-believers, it's connected, goes nice and straight. All right, so everything's in. Another tip before I get up out of here: when you do install the Hydroboost, leave the bolts a little bit loose before you tighten up the bolts. Before you tighten up the bolts, right here. It's more like to put this the shaft onto the rod to connect it and connect this here. Leave the bolts loose and connect that first, and then once you get that all connected up, run down the other 3 bolts, get everything nice and tight, then you drill your hole. And that's for this one, that bolt there. You drill the hole, and you put that one in, and you see I got the nylon lock nut and washer behind it. So yeah, that's the pedals. They're in. You see it works. Obviously, clutch pedals works, not hooked up though. And that there is the Hydroboost. On this one, we will be using a Volvo pump. If you made it this far in, let me know in the comment section if you want me to do a video on the Volvo pump install. I'm throwing out gems because I'm living in reality. I know I'm not going to be able to do everybody's swap, but at the same time, I would like to help everybody. And that's what I kind of miss about when I first did Coyote swaps, and how cool it was on Instagram, and even it really started for me on Facebook, which is crazy to say. How everybody, you know, helped each other out, gave each other gems. I'm not gonna lie, I kept this close to the vest for a while now, but right now, I don't know. It's a new leaf on life. So y'all benefiting from it. Please, if you made it this far, tap the like button, leave a comment if this worked for you, or if you're having any issues or questions. I hope I laid out everything pretty much straightforward. Gave y'all part numbers, you know, custom stuff. So yeah. But yeah, it's been your boy Rock, man. Catch y'all on the next one. Definitely more Coyote swap videos coming in the future. Peace.